Many instructors in engineering, math and science have students solve problems, but are their students solving true problems or just doing exercises? And are you, when taking this course, if not practicing with your personal real situations, solving problems? True problem solving is the process of applying a method not known in advance to a problem that is subject to a specific set of conditions and that the problem solver has not seen before, in order to obtain a satisfactory solution. That's why you learned here a model, not a rule of problem solving, not a method to a specific type of problem. At the end, it's all about adapting. It's all about going back to who we are. We are actually problem solvers. Sometimes we need guidance, but we are problem solvers by nature. And how to develop then problem solving skills to adapt to any new situation? Problem solving is a vital skill in daily life, which is why employers are so keen on it. Dealing with real situations will help you gain problem solving skills without even realizing it. And you may be able even to use this in your job applications or interviews. So use the model, try different situations, try situations you meet in your real life and are difficult, and try situations that might happen again. Now let's see the secret skills of problem solving. Sorry, not such a big secret, and I'm sure this comes not as a surprise for you. Intelligence solves problems. This is the skill we use to apply the model we just discussed. There are many other taxonomies of human intelligence, but I will use this one. The psychologist Robert Sternberg identified 3 types of intelligence, which all people use at some time or another. Analytical intelligence involves the use of logic and reason to maneuver from A to B. The practical intelligence involves finding the best fit between your actions and the demands of the situation, often by applying skills learned through experience. And creative intelligence, which involves thinking outside the box to come up with new ideas. Solving different problems will require different types of intelligence. What do you think? Which type of intelligence do you use most often? Can you think of some examples of how you commonly use each type of intelligence when solving problems, and which type of intelligence do you think you favor and why? That's an important question for you, and this is something that might define you. Which are you strongest at in problem solving? Which type of intelligence you use better? Which helps you most when problem solving? These are just some questions for you to reflect. You can stop the video for a second to think about this and try to put it on a piece of paper, and later maybe you can come back to that. You typically use an analytical approach when a problem is abstract, requires you to analyze information to find a solution, and is logical in nature, or when a familiar situation or an expected course of events is disrupted and you need to identify the obstacles, address them, and get back on track. If 2 of your colleagues or employees are having an argument, it might be best to use an analytical approach to solve the problem. You gather information from each person to get an accurate picture of the situation and then isolate a solution that satisfies both parties. So this is how you would use analytical intelligence in solving problems. Practical skills are used to solve problems in everyday life, typically involving material things. They aren't easy to learn or control because they draw on the problem solver's extensive knowledge and experience solving similar problems. The problem solver will most likely find the solution intuitively. Streetwise people and those who have lived a long, rich life often demonstrate practical intelligence. For example, a senior manager who smooths over any conflict and knows intuitively how to deal with different people demonstrates practical intelligence. The manager can do this because of the variety of people she or he has met over the years. Practical problem solving doesn't involve a high degree of critical thinking, but it does rely on your ability to set your emotional reactions aside and accept the way things are. If your computer deletes your work for the day, reacting emotionally isn't going to get the information back. It's more practical to move on and find ways to make up for lost time. Practical skills can be acquired or sharpened as readily as creative or analytical skills can. So organizations can't encourage people to formally acquire this kind of intelligence, but they should recognize, encourage, and reward the application of practical problem-solving skills. Problems involving unforeseen complications typically require analytical or practical problem-solving skills to break down the problem and overcome it. But unusual or unfamiliar problems that don't come with a lot of information often require lateral creative thinking, in other words, creative intelligence. When you know where you want to be in the future but don't know how to get there, a creative solution may be just what you need. To design a new product that meets a customer needs none of your competitors have addressed, for example, you need fresh ideas. Developing improvement goals also typically requires creative thought. It helps to think outside the box to discover ways to improve your sales target, lower your budget, or improve employee morale. Creative problem solving starts with being open to the idea that new, fresh solutions are possible. You put aside your assumptions and suspend judgment of your ideas while you come up with them. One method is to ask yourself lots of questions to free your mind from your usual thinking patterns and kickstart your imagination. You might ask, what would be an unusual way of doing this, or even, what would a child suggest? Asking what if as many times as possible can help you escape of your own preconceptions. Some problems require a combination of the different problem-solving approaches. If you stay open to the possibility of using a variety of skills, you'll have an advantage over people who tend to fall back on the same way of meeting challenges. Almost there, but before ending this lesson, let's try, as you might be already used, some more practice. So, based on their description earlier in the topic, in the last lesson, which member of the team, Anna, Maria or Tom, is likely to display analytical intelligence? What do you think? First option is incorrect. Anna displays practical intelligence that comes from her many years of experience. Second option, this one is correct. Maria is a rational, logical person who likes to apply her mind to problems. She displays analytical intelligence. This is an incorrect option, the last one. Tom displays creative intelligence. He thinks outside the box to find fresh solutions. And one more practice exercise. Harry's printer has stopped working. Although he has never really thought about how printers operate, he needs to fix the problem so he can print an important document. Which activity demonstrates the type of skill best suited to solve the problem? As usual, stop the video and take 3 to 5 minutes to find an answer. Let's see. The first option would be incorrect. This intuitive, practical approach isn't suitable for this problem because of Harry's lack of experience with fixing printers. The second option would be the correct one. The best approach in this example is for Harry to assume there must be a way of making the printer work and set out to find it, using logical, analytical thinking to solve the problem. The third option, this is also incorrect. This creative approach isn't appropriate for a technical problem like this one. A logical appraisal of the situation would be the best way to isolate the cause. And the last option is also incorrect. Ignoring the problem won't make it go away. Harry should tackle the problem head-on by using logic and reason to figure out a solution. You maybe review the model. We discussed it in this section and we tried to respond to this question again when we had the previous revision. But once again, just to be sure, it's very clear in our mind. The approach we use to problem solving is a simple and practical 6 steps model. First, we define the problem. Then we analyze the problem. After that, we identify potential solutions and we choose the best one from this solution. Then you plan for action, that's the right way, and at the end you implement the solution and review progress. Pretty logical, we just need practice to make it work. What we did together to help you learn was to model a useful problem-solving method. This is what we did throughout this section. I tried to teach you within a specific context. We had practical examples and many questions, very well defined. I tried to help you understand the problem-solving process, and we took enough time to do it. We have questions and you have the possibility to make suggestions. Also, We discussed the main errors and misconceptions in problem solving, and we also discussed the mind traps, and this is a pretty useful knowledge, a pretty useful skill if you are able to avoid them. That's it for problem solving. Now you can practice. At the beginning is an effort of relating back with a model and trying to avoid traps and using specific tools, but in times you will see that this model is you, the efficient problem solver. Next sections will be about decision making.